Hello, everyone. Wanted to do a quick live today, just because I haven't in a while. I just thought we'd get ready. Happy Susan B. Anthony Day. If you don't know what that is, Susan B. Anthony, organize, agitate, educate, must be our war cry. Is the bottom of this shirt. And that is a quote from Susan B. Anthony, who is a very famous suffragette and was a leader in the fight for women to get the right to vote, which is what the 19th Amendment is. So happy 100 years to being able to have some say. Now, if we could only get it even, but you know what? We're here for makeup and not politics. So let's get started. I don't have any grand plan today. I just thought maybe we could chat a little bit while I get ready. I'm going to start off, as always, with my contour. And I'm going to remember that I'm on camera, so I'm going to pick up a little bit more than what I normally would. Remembering that we're just trying to draw a line. Really, the darkest point should be up by your hairline. And really, you don't want it to come much more than your pupil. I like it to stop a little bit further back. And as always, to my Hefty Hideaway girls, give yourself a little extra room. Make it more of a V so it comes down to a point. That will just draw the eye down and make everything look a little bit thinner, right? And if that's your jam, and that's my jam, then have at it. Just gonna quick on contour. Hello. Quick contour on my nose. I'm gonna do it around the sides of the chin. Again, you always want to start out here by your ear because that's where the darkest part of it will be. And naturally, there's more shadow there. And we're just going to draw it around. I'm going to use my finger at this point and contour my nose. This is where I give my my disclaimer, right? That this is a Western ideal of beauty to contour your nose, to get a smaller nose. If that is not your jam, then do not do this by any stretch of the imagination. If it is your jam, then contour until your heart's content. As you can see, I'm rolling it just across the top of my nose. It's not the side, but the top. I'm not trying to contour down the side. I'm trying to contour down the top. And I don't know why I said contour like that. I'm just going to go ahead and work this in with my thumb. Bring it down and connect. And then just blend a little. At this point, we're going to take, I'm going to take my lighter. Gosh, I'm trying to get it up in the camera today. I'm going to take the lighter of my foundation colors and just sort of run it straight up the middle of my nose. And bring that out and down. And don't worry, we're going to blend all this later. I promise I won't end up looking like a zebra. Well. Shouldn't make promises I can't keep, I suppose. At this point, we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to put on the rest of my foundation. This darker color goes where my beard would normally grow. So I like to use a stippling motion because as you can see, I have some acne. And I know this looks really heavy right now where I put it. And really not the color of my skin. I hear you. I hear you all out there judging. It's all right. But here's the beauty of cream-based makeup. And one of the reasons of why I've become a devotee. Once it really gets on your skin and warms up with your skin, you know, then it really becomes movable. And that's when you really start to see it blend and move around very nicely. So at this point, I'm going to pick up, again, my lighter foundation. And I am going to go in underneath my eyes, really in this sort of mask area is where we want to highlight. So down a little bit, down, and here. Why don't I just do it instead of talking about it? All right, very good. All right, and again, guys, remember, this is the skin under your eye. Go gently. It's the only skin you have. But look at that. I got no dark circles. Hey. Well, I've got one still. But not for long. And again, we're just pushing gently. We'll want to move it around. We're not at this point trying to... All right. Okay. I'm going to go ahead now and just take this Royal Cheek color. I'm sorry, that's the name of it, Royal. It's a darker brick color. I'm going to use this double-ended brush. I'm going to use the smaller end. It's going to pick up more color than what the fluffier end would because there are more bristles. So I've just tapped lightly into that cream. And when I do this, I want to try and concentrate the blush on the lower part of my cheek. Again, I have more real estate than most people because I'm chubby. But I only have so much real estate on my cheeks, right? And I got a lot going on here. I got contour. I want to put color. Eventually, I want to put some highlight on here. And, that's it. So if I start the blush out way up here or even here in the center, when I blend, it's going to take up all of that room and all of that real estate. So I like to just sort of keep it down here. Bonus, if you use a darker color like this, it can also add to your contour. So see, I did a much better job on this side. Hey, it's live. But you can see how I hooked it down more, and the color is concentrated more here, right? Here, I didn't do as great a job. And it started to travel a little bit. Now I'm going to cheat that room. So, I mean, it's nothing crazy, right? I'm going to get it up there eventually. All right. So while we have been chatting and talking, all of this cream, not all of this, it makes it sound like I have on 10 tons. I actually don't have on that much. But this cream has had a chance to warm up to my face and is ready now to be blended out. And that's what we're going to do with this brush. Again, it is the mascara brush. It's called the Buffy double-ended. I like it for putting on foundation just because it's got shorter bristles and they're tightly packed, and so you get a lot more coverage than what you normally would. So just with light motions, circular motions, just taking this brush and I'm just sort of blending and fluffing. It's a technical term, fluffing. Oh God, it kind of is. I didn't mean it like that. Okay, well, just start over. Anyway, what I mean is you just want to take your contour and just diffuse the line. It's much better. We're going to stick with that. Diffuse the line. Good God. Never. All right, now we're blending and we're blending and we're going to blend the nose. And again, we want to diffuse the line. And we can see, honestly, I could throw on some actual mascara and go ahead and be out the door. But, let's be a little extra. We're here and all. We might as well. Oh, I know. You know what we could talk about today? Well, I put on some eyeshadow. I'm going to do this really basic. I'm going to go in with the Sabrina, which is this cream-colored matte shade, and then Gilded, which is a slight shimmery, it's kind of a coppery color, so it just lays down really well and makes for a really nice, pretty neutral eye. It's a brown that leans towards red. Oh gosh, but maybe that'll scare you if I say it that way. It's got like a more of a brick undertone in it. And so at this point, I'm just taking that Sabrina, which again is that very... almost the same color as me, matte eyeshadow, and I'm laying it down over all of my real estate from lash to brow bone. I'm going to do that on the other eye as well. And I think then what we're going to talk about today is contour versus bronzer. Contour versus bronzer and why they are different. A thesis by Jennifer Purdue. So here's the deal, you guys. Contouring, I know when you look at contour and you look at bronzer, you're like, they are both dark brown things. How can these possibly be two different things? This is like a greeting card scam where they're creating holidays. It's not. So let's talk a little bit while I buff in some of that gilded color. I just tapped, straight up and down, and then I'm going to put it actually deep in my eye socket, and we're going to start moving it back and forth, just in a blending motion. Nothing exciting. So, okay, bronzer, and I'm also going to make it a slight V here, because that's how my eyes like to do. All right, so contouring is really for creating shadow. Think of it that way. It's the absence of color, right? When you contour, all you're doing is creating depth and shadow where none currently exists. So you're creating a shadow under here to make your jaw, to make your cheekbone pop in that 3D effect. So really that's all you're doing with contour. And if, hey, let me also disclaim, if you like to contour like a Kardashian, girl, have at it. Girl, boy, they, them, whoever you are, you do you. I am not down for contouring like a Kardashian. And that's how I like to do. So when I contour, right, if you look at me now, you're like, hey, that's a smoking chick. And I know, thank you. But also, hopefully at this point, you're like, yeah, if I'm looking for it, I can see the contour maybe a little bit up here. But if you're looking at me straight on, I really don't want my contour to walk into the room before me. Okay? So all I've done at this point is create that shadow and that depth with contour. All right? So now you're like, all right, bitch, I hear you. But they still look brown in the pan. They look the same brown. Well, then you're not buying the right thing. Because contour should be a flat, dark color. And when I say flat, I mean not glittery, not super shiny, not just something that is flat and will create that shadow. I should create a drinking game of this video of how many times I can say, create that shadow. All right, quit screwing around. And so then what bronzer should do, bronzer mimics the idea of, I've spent time in the sun. And for my pale self, I need to mimic that because even when I go outside in the winter, I have to wear an SPF. You laugh at me now, but when I'm 80 and still looking like this, all right. Okay, so let's line our eyes. So bronzer then mimics that sun-kissed glow. And all I'm doing for this liner, I'm just cheating this, is running that same gilded color underneath my eye with a smaller brush that's, again, tightly packed. So it's going to give me a lot of payoff right where I lay it down, and I can just sort of smoke it out as I go. I'm not a fan of running the same color of liner from tip to tip on the bottom. It makes my eyes look too closed off and can have that effect. So if you have giant eyes and you want to make them smaller, that's a good hack for that. But if you want to make your eyes wider, open, probably most of us want to do that. then you want to really concentrate the color out here in the corner and then just feather it in as you go. And I really never go much past my pupil. I sort of did on this eye. I mean, it's, you know, the makeup police isn't going to come and get me. All right, so let's put on some mascara. This is the Givenchy Phenomenize, which is arguably my favorite. And it's my favorite because of the ball. I do all the work, which in this case I'm happy to, because it gives me way more control. So yes, I move the ball, but then I just blink through it. And then you can super cheat and use this as like a eyelash curler. But Jesus, don't do that if you're sharing mascara with someone, or if you're using it on a client, or, yeah, no, this is not how you do. I have a good hack for that, and it's a Q-tip. I mean, yeah, okay. Let's throw on some brows really quickly. I'm just going to dip into my contour color and pick up way too much. Yep, there we go. And I'm just going to come in here and start to make some feather strokes. Again, these brows are not... Hi, my brows are coming into the room. Oh, and I know how desperately they need to be waxed. Don't at me for that, please. So yeah, and I'm also starting here in the inner corner where I need the most color and the most pigment, because again, the first place you put, I know this is going to sound like, duh, but the first place you lay down your tool is where the most color is going to be deposited. I know, it sounds super obvious, but think about that for a second. Think about that, especially when you're working in, you know, like your eyeshadow in the socket, or when you're doing your brows. Okay, so now I'm switching to the spoolie end, your makeup word for the day if you did not know. And here's what I'm doing. I am going straight up, all 87,000 of those hairs. And then I am combing them down and over in the direction they grow. There's a couple of reasons I'm doing this. First of all, the spoolie gets any extra product out of my brows. Bonus. It also coats my brows evenly. Double bonus. And then this just sort of works to set your brows down. Triple bonus. Hey. All right. At this point, I'm going to put on some bronzer, since we've been talking about it. So, all right, we did the contour, and we stuck to the outer edges of our face for the most part, minus the nose, right? We contour up here at the hairline. We contour underneath our cheekbones. We contour underneath our neck, right? Because again, we're just creating shadow there. So with bronzer, we actually want to go more in the center of the face. This is where you want to let your makeup sort of shine. If this is the look you're going for, that very bronzy sort of sun-kissed kind of, oh yes, I just came back from Saint-Tropez. What? I don't know, is Saint-Tropez a thing where people go? I don't know, I just said that. I watch too much HGTV. All right, so I've got the product on the brush. Sorry guys, it's a rambly thing. And I'm just with a really light hand going to kiss it down. I'm going to pick up a little bit more in that tapping motion. It's just a tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Got some product. You want to control this build, right? You don't want this build to be giant. You don't want it to be, you want it to look natural. There. So think about all the places when you get sunburned, where you get sunburned, right? Or for those of you who tan, I guess where you tan. I don't know, you got to tell me how that do, because I'm not a tanner. So see how I just sort of built up that color here on my nose and right here on my forehead, a little bit on my cheeks, and just right here on the tip of my chin as well. Just really gives you that, oh, hi, Saint-Tropez apparently. At this point, I am going to go ahead and take my little beauty blender here. It's already been pre-moistened. Gross. And what I'm going to do is pounce, I believe is the word everybody uses. I like bounce. We also found other words I like today, but I'm never going to use on a live again. So we're going to diffuse the line, right? Pouncing is also going to pick up any extra product. And when you use a cream-based makeup, it's really a good idea. Especially the first couple of times you use it, you're going to use too much. It's just how I do. All right. Now that we have pounced everywhere, I'm going to go ahead and finish off my lip in this royal color. It's the same color I used for my cheeks. Comes off as a pretty intense red, but you'll see. It's hella wearable. And it really plays well with this gilded color because, as I said, it's got sort of that, it leans towards a reddish undertone. So there. Fast, simple, out the door, my Saint-Tropez looking self. All right, everyone. Thank you, as always, for joining me. If there's anything you'd like to see or you'd learn about, I'd love to hear it from you in the comments. So yeah, take care and have a great day. And happy Susan B. Anthony Day, everyone. All right, bye.